got the glow, feet on the pavement.
Yo, what's up, jobbers? It is your boy BQ by Elegance. This is your Turning Point 2025 review and reaction. This is the lounge. What is going on? It always takes me like a good week to review these Impact Plus shows, right? Like I always talk about how it takes me forever to get through them. And this was the episode where this was the show that I was like, I'm going to knock it out quick this time. I didn't watch Turning Point as it aired, but I watched it really shortly after, like first 75% of it. Now, when I'm at work, I'm pretty busy the entire day, but my last hour, I do literally nothing but sit on my ass. So that is my time to catch up with things. And the 2 days after Turning Point were the 2 days that I just had someone at my desk talking to me, one-way conversation for like an hour straight, completely killing my quiet time that I value very much at the end of my day. Killing my quiet time, couldn't watch a show, and then it ended up taking me a week to review this show like it always does. I have a I'm working on a new intro for the TNA Plus shows. It's very similar to the one I just played, just kind of a remix of it or whatever, but it's taken me a little while. So yeah. We're gonna get into this. One time I wanted to make sure I got this knocked out for sure this morning because there is an episode of Impact tonight that's obviously gonna be the follow-up from Turning Point. I thought Turning Point was one of their better shows in a while. And I don't even know that it was a great show. I think it was okay, but I think they kind of had a couple misses on TNA Plus recently, and I don't remember exactly what show it was. It was one of the last two where I talked about everything was babyface versus babyface, and everyone was on the show. I mean, that like they crammed the entire roster onto the show, and it was just real. Just felt like overkill. So, I thought overall they did a good job here. Hannafin told you it was a sellout. They're showing empty seats again on screen. I don't know why they do things like that. That's just bad television. But they did it, and we're going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about the empty seats. We're going to talk about Turning Point one time for your mind. So, your ring announcer for TNA Turning Point is Mackenzie Mitchell.
Ding bong, ding dong, he's Stone Cold. Aye.
And the first match, man, for me, this was a top two match on this show. M by Elegance.
I keep dreaming and envisioning these long legs. And it's
Thinking of Susan Anton or what? What's the deal with that?
And she is, of course, accompanied by the personal concierge.
That's my dad. But don't worry, he's cool.
Really? He doesn't look cool.
And her opponent was the TNA Knockouts champion, Kalani Jordan.
Jordan's signature shimmy.
Look, guys, I'm just going to throw this out there right now. After this match, M by Elegance, this is the best wrestler on the roster. It just is. You cannot convince me otherwise. I don't think it's Tessa Blanchard. I don't think it's if what the fuck, Slamovich is still even around. I don't even know. This is the best wrestler on the roster. Every match is good, fluid, snug. The moves look like it hurt. They hurt. It looks like there's impact when she is hitting you and kicking you and doing whatever. This is the best wrestler. This is the best knockout on the roster. Excuse me. They have something very special here. I know that the company feels they did a very good job in discovering her. So I've been talking about her and Heather in their tag matches and saying, man, they're both so good. I still think Heather's really, really good too. I think Heather is top 3, top 5 in this division. She's why am I coughing so much already? The show just started. Usually as it progresses, maybe because I don't got my coffee in me, I don't know. But this is the best wrestler on the roster. I do not care. You got an excellent match out of Kalani Jordan, shithouse, who is awful. Okay. Heather wrestled Kalani Jordan the other day, and it was really bad. And I didn't blame Heather for it at all because she's excellent. And by Elegance got an awesome match out of this. Everything is fluid. Everything looks real. Nothing's fake and phony. She can sell without going overboard. Or she is one day she's going to be a baby face, I would imagine, and we got to see if the promos are there. But I think she's going to be huge for this company. But she's I can't say enough good things, but no one is going to convince me otherwise. This is the best knockout on the roster. And this match ended up being really, really good. My problem was the dynamic. We're kicking it off with heel versus heel. And I'm going to put heel in quotes for Kalani Jordan. She has to be one of the worst heels I have ever seen. And I don't know if she's more of a heel on NXT and she's just kind of has to wrestle as a baby face, sort of, but she's still a heel and has heel tendencies. She comes down. I think, man, I wrote this in my notes. I don't remember exactly what she did. I remember just kind of being flabbergasted right off the bat. She is coming down, and it looks like she gave something to a kid in the crowd on the way, and then she hugged two people. So this is your fucking heel champion. Like I am. We don't talk spoilers. We will get to Kalani Jordan as Knockouts champion when we get to it. But yeah, this ended up being a great match. 99% of it, actually 100% of it was because of M by Elegance. But of course, Kalani Jordan gets the win, and I don't really know why they even did all this. I don't know what the purpose was of the Elegance brand having to, after dropping their tag titles, having to have one-on-one matches each versus her and both losing. Like, I don't, especially when they're both so much better than her. But I don't know. That's what we did. And this was after the match. This was first of many times we saw TV superstar Carlos Silva.
All right, we're going streaking. Bring your green hat. Let's go.
So yeah, he was all over this show, and I'm sure we'll continue to be going forward. Then we had I'm not going to play sound bites on this. Gia Miller was in the back with Bioflex legend Mara Sade, Queen of the Rubber match Zaya Brookside, and Lang Lee, and they had a little. They were talking about their championship aspirations. Had a little run in with Ryan Nemeth. It was fine. Next match we had on this thing, Big Boom, AJ Francis.
Boom!
And his opponent, BDE.
Big Dick Energy.
Now, Rich Swann was missing from this entrance. AJ Francis was missing from Rich Swann's entrance. We'll talk about Rich Swann a little bit later. I wonder if there's some changes in first class coming again. I don't know. We will see. So, I thought this was a great second match. AJ Francis will never get the respect that he deserves as a wrestler, as a talent. Everything that he does is good. And I don't know what happened in WWE. I know there was the jumping over the top rope thing, the flop. I get that. I don't know if it was a history of him like botching matches all the time. I don't know, dude, because this guy is so impressive to me. Now he's not, Dave Meltzer jerk off 5-star. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't watch wrestling for that. I don't watch for you to wow me with your flips. I've just never been that person. Wow me with a great match where both the guys are working and you're telling a story in the ring. Like, I'm all for that. And AJ Francis, his mic work is great. Character work is great. Every time he has a match, he puts his all into it. He doesn't phone anything in. And he would be an excellent TNA world champion. But they are never going to do it. Because now you're bringing all this audience from the WWE world who does not remember him that fondly. And he's going to be the opposite of Santino. Like how they think the WWE audience wants a bunch of Santino, so we're going to get him nonstop. Like AJ, they probably feel the WWE audience doesn't want him, so they're not going to feature him that highly. And it's ridiculous. I would love to see him with a run as the world champion. It likely will not happen, but this was a pretty good match. I said this on my last review of Impact, that every time BDE wrestles, we are going to hear Tom Hannafin talk about his 1.5 million. I think it's YouTube subscribers. I ran down all the platforms on my show, and then I listened to Mike's show, and he said YouTube. So I don't know, but I know that Hannafin's gonna let us know every single time this motherfucker wrestles. And I was really confused. I didn't know if he was an influencer learning to wrestle or a wrestler who became an influencer. I don't know, but being that he's an influencer, working with AJ Francis is the best possible person you can work with, and I think he's pretty good. Like he kind of reminds me, I would say a young Leon Slater. Young Leon Slater would be like 12, but kind of a young Rich Swan a little bit, you know. Um, I just I hope they keep him around. I hope he's not just the thing was he came in here and he lost clean, which heels do not win, and unless I missed something, unless I missed some AJ Francis cheating at one point, I'm pretty sure he beat him clean. That doesn't happen. So that kind of tells me he may not really be around, but I mean, I would keep the dude around. It's young, fresh, like discovered talent that no one else got their hands on. You know what I mean? So giggity. So man, I hope they keep him around. Seems like he can talk a little bit too. But this was a pretty good match. I don't know how they pulled off that Canadian Destroyer. I had to watch that a couple times. Big Boom went for the choke slam, the down payment, and it was turned into a like the fact that AJ Francis took that in the way that he did. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He just does not get the props that he deserves. But that was really really interesting or exciting part of the match, I should say. Next up, we got a lot of knockouts action very, very early here, which is fine. We have a lot of very talented women on the roster. So the next thing we had up was Indy Hartwell.
How long did it take you to learn English once you got here?
It was really easy because we speak English in Australia, you fucking idiot.
Her opponent was the leader of the Mewtwo movement, Danny Luna.
God damn, bit like Mewtwo.
And they had a no disqualification garbage match.
Easy booking.
Because Danny Luna introduced a chair into the match the other day. Indy Hartwell hit her with the chair. So now we have to have a no disqualification match where they're carrying chairs around. They're not going to give us a break on this no DQ shit. Santino, even though he didn't make this match, Indy challenger, Santino is to the DQ match or the no DQ match, excuse me, what Teddy Long is to the tag team match. So at first I had a little interest in this because I'm just over the no rules and all that. I mean, surely you can come up with something more creative or a better stipulation. And to me, the heat in this was very manufactured. Just because, I pointed it out in my Impact review, they were a tag team for like 2 minutes. I mean, I think they had 1 or 2 matches together, kind of split up. It started the Danny Luna heel turn. I thought it should have much better incorporated Jody Threat than it did. And I don't know, like it just I forgot they were enemies in any way. I thought they've already wrestled. I thought that Indy Hartwell already beat her. She beat her in the 3-way with Jody Threat and Danny Luna. That was number 1 contender for Bound for Glory. So not only did she beat her there, but that match, I'm thinking, okay, Indy Hartwell wins that match. That means Danny Luna and Jody Threat are going to split off and have a good angle together. No, hell no. It just man struggling to book outside of the belt. It's just what it is. At least they're trying to here, but But I thought for a garbage match that this was really good. I thought it was the best Indy Hartwell match. I don't think Indy Hartwell is near as bad as Mike Gilbert says. He's always saying that she's absolutely terrible. Now I'm saying Kalani Jordan's terrible. He might be like, yo, she's the fucking future. Like we just all have different opinions when we're watching these people in the ring because we all value different things when we're watching a match. But I don't think she's that bad. And I'm actually really shocked that the plan doesn't appear to get the title on her right away. That like they're really dragging it out with her. They're really building this thing. So I don't know what is next for Indy Hartwell. She did win this match, obviously. I don't know what's next for her. This is gonna be kind of interesting. It was like a month ago. I was like, I don't know what the name of her finisher is. I thought it was Hertz Donut, like a question. I was like, it's either that or Hertz Donut, but Hertz Donut is like the dumbest name I've ever heard. It's Hertz Donut. Like the fucking Dunkin' Donuts I get my kids in the morning on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? So But no, I actually thought for a garbage match, this was really good. My issue with the garbage matches is that they go too long because if you have a match before this where two guys wrestle or two girls wrestle and it's over in 8 minutes and they're not using weapons, and then the next match is a 15-minute match with weapons, like that doesn't make any sense. You give me a weapon. If I get into a fight, okay, you give me a weapon, the chances are I'm gonna win that fight a lot quicker than if I didn't have one. So that is like just it's just a bunch of moves with weapons for the sake of it. And that's really what my issue is. And it's really I came across the other day this match. It was like Steve Blackman versus Shane McMahon, and it was a garbage match. And I mean, they're just beating the piss out of each other. It was a hardcore match, as I call in WWE, beating the piss at each other with this stuff. It was not comedy, it was not joking, and they use a lot of the same weapons, but it's like they're really trying to kill each other, and we don't get that in street fights and no DQs and all that stuff. It's just all kind of like goofy, but it's like 75% goofy and 25% like hard hitting action. But yeah, Indy wins. What the hell's next for Danny Luna? She's the one that the fans are kind of getting behind right now. Not to the point they're going to cheer her, but she's the one I think the fans would like to see some kind of push and see some kind of growth in the character. And I'm going to say it again, and I will continue to say it. Huge missed opportunity not having a legit angle with Jody Threat that could have elevated the both of them. It could have had the same it could have had the same arc that Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly had when they were kind of. It would be the reverse of Masha and Killer Kelly because they ended up joining together as a team, but they could have had something very very similar. Because that was one of the best knockouts feuds in a long time. That didn't have to do anything to do with the belts. They obviously won the tag team titles eventually, but that was one of the best knockout feuds they have done in years. They could have done something very similar, just the reverse of it. They both go their separate direction, but they both are better for it. So, after this Knockouts tag team title match, first we have coming out to the ring Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, I don't like this. That if the Nuggets don't win this,
And her black friend Victoria Crawford.
My favorite match was with Melina and Alicia Fox.
And Hannah Finn is pointing out that she's not dressed to compete. Their opponents, we'll get to their real tag team partner here in a second, but their opponents in this match were Laying Lee
from Ching Chong, China,
and Queen of the Rubber match, Zaya Brookside. They were, of course, taking on the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, The Inspiration.
I am iconic.
So Tessa Blanchard gets on the microphone before this match kicks off and let us know that she is not medically cleared to compete. I don't know why. The last person she wrestled was Gia Miller. Gia Miller got like no offense in. The match lasted about 6 minutes, and Tessa hasn't wrestled since. So unless she got hurt somewhere else, I just think they are really limiting her on TV wrestling. They're doing their best to get rid of those chants. That's what I think is happening here. But my first reaction when they created this match, when they put it together, was, man, they're already feeding the two top tag teams to the Inspiration the very first night, the very first title defense, the very first like TNA Plus after Bound for Glory. I mean, are we serious? And I was very confused because they put this Angel Warriors thing together, and usually when they do that, it means, hey, that's the next team to win a championship. And that's not really the direction they're going. Now I see the direction they're going. And it's because Tessa Blanchard, because she was not medically cleared. We got her replacement, the bombshell Mila Moore.
Get me out of here!
I'm quite excited for this. I don't think they've done a good job with the Victoria Crawford as far as her being the mentor or whatever. Like, she's loosely the mentor, but it hasn't led to anything. There's no stories. I thought maybe for a second Danny Luna was going to join it. There was none of that. So they haven't really done a very good job with that, but they said from her initiative, her fucking mentorship initiative, whatever the hell, that they got Mila Moore. She has a good look. She's hot. She's pretty solid in the ring so far. I'm not really quite seeing enough, but pairing her with Tessa Blanchard, excellent idea. Excellent idea. That is the person to do it with. They look good as a team. They just have a similar look. And this match stunk. Let me just get that out of the way. Man, Laying Lee, sometimes I'm like, man, she's really good. And sometimes I'm like, she's really not good. Like, she might be bad. She might actually be bad. I have not figured it out yet. But the match was no good. And Xia Brookside ended up taking the pin. All right. So Angel Warriors are not the contenders we thought that they were going to be. Looks like they're going to go kind of a different direction with how they're handling them. So it does look like they're going to go the direction of the Inspiration. I'm going to assume it's going to be versus Tessa and Mila Moore. I don't think it's going to be Tessa and Victoria Crawford. They're going to drag this out, and which is good, which is a good thing. But it seems like they're going to drag it out a little bit, and I think that's what part of what they did here. So I think it is ultimately by the time Genesis rolls around, I think it'll be Mila Moore and Tessa Blanchard, who I think could win. I think this could be a pretty short title run, but what I do know is that these women are going to feud nonstop for like the next 6 months, regardless of who wins and who loses. It is probably going to continue. So that is one area in the Knockouts tag team division that they just haven't improved on. You know, there are more teams, there are more options, there's a different flavor to the division rather than just having 2 teams, but they still kind of book it like 2 teams, which is the problem. We'll see what the Angel Warriors do outside of this, you know. So we will see. But yeah, the match wasn't very good, but I was more interested in seeing what Mila Moore could do. I did not talk about the pre-show. I didn't watch the pre-show. I probably should have kicked off just saying that. It was a match. It was Jake something, Mance Warner, and the hometown man. Like, there's zero chance I'm gonna watch that match. So I guess Jake something won. Like, there was someone in the crowd. I think it was one of the WWE ID guys or whatever, and he was saying, "Whose unks are these?" Watching Jake and Mance Warner wrestle, and I don't know if it was an angle. I don't know if he was legitimately making fun of them. I know that Steph DeLander and Mance Warner addressed him online. I think they were the only wrestlers that cared, but I think they said something to him. Look, man, and again, I don't know if it's angle or what. They've done nothing with Jake something. He's Jake nothing. They've done, frankly, nothing with Mance Warner. They could have had him end Sami Callihan's career, and that probably would have elevated him to a point that we could semi-buy him as a, I don't know, main eventer, but just upper mid-card, you know what I mean? Not a pre-show guy. I thought he took a step backwards with that, and then they put him right into a feud after that he lost as well. I mean, remember Jake something was he turned heel a couple months ago and then became Frankie Kazarian's tag team partner. It lasted like a fucking episode. They did a whole backstage segment where he recruited him, and we thought, oh, they're gonna give Jake something some personality. They can give him some clothes, you know. No, they're right back like it never happened, and he is just the loud guy yelling and being the wrestling caveman, and Mance Warner is just cosplaying as something. And then the hometown man, who's, even though is kind of entertaining, is kind of a joke at the same time. So, I mean, what do you expect from anyone in the crowd if they're clowning Jake something and Mance Warner? What do you expect? What have they done to make us care about either of them? Like the Jake something experiment, like pull the fucking plug, man. Let this guy. I mean, he tested free agency last time and nothing came of it. But I mean, let him be free. Like, even if he wants to make a living on the indies, like, just let him go do his thing. It's like, seriously, I think that experiment is just big time failed. There was one time where it looked like it had a lot of promise, and it just, it never materialized. But I mean, the worst thing you can do is put those two guys wrestling each other. I mean, my God, didn't they already wrestle each other? Weren't they like a part of that losing tag team with Macklin They lost a real one in like 3 minutes at Slammiversary, and then they had a bunch of three ways and garbage match. Like, I mean, why are these guys still wrestling each other? Who cares? Anyway, yes, Inspiration win. They pin the Queen of the Rubber match, and we move on to another match that was not very good. It was the Hardies, Matt Hardy.
Wonderful.
And his brother Jeff.
Jeff.
Their tag team partner is Cedric Alexander.
My name is Optimus Prime.
And they're taking on the Order 4, led by Mustafa Ali.
If you vote for me, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
And we got the great hand jobs.
Hey, for another 60, I'll jerk you off in the parking garage.
And we have Special Agent Zero, of course. I do need to work on a soundbite for him because I used the Secret Agent Man clip and then I got demonetized. So I will never do that again. Especially because it was the Bound for Glory review. And that is not what I want to be demonetized. So I got to work on something else for Special Agent Zero. Ditch the zero, get with a hero. Yeah, this also was not very good. We knew the Order 4 was going to win, which is great because Cedric Alexander actually won a match on Impact. He beat Jason Hotch, so we knew that Order 4 was going to win here. It's kind of going the direction that I assumed it would after Bound for Glory, with Ali and Agent Zero versus the Hardys. That's where I'm pretty sure it is ultimately going. I think most of you would agree with me. I think it would have been they would have had a lot more momentum had they won out of Bound for Glory. But they're wearing their bullshit Laker colors here too. They're never going to get over with me for that. But yeah, I really wasn't into this. Mike Gilbert was saying something very similar. Ali, he's really good, but I understand as a heel, you're kind of supposed to cheat to win and all that, but they just go the chicken shit route with him way too much, and the distraction roll ups and the cheating in the last minute and getting some kind of cheap win. Like, he's so much better than that. I just don't think he needs that. I do think him and Agent Zero are going to win a belt here eventually, which I will have a lot of interest in that. I want to see Ali as a champion again. So, but yeah, we got the two bad matches out of the way here, and we moved on to 8-man tag team action with the Rascals.
In one word, would I use dope? Nope.
That's Trey Miguel, Zach Wentz, Myron Reed.
I am the father.
And then the returning Desmond Alexander. So it does not appear Desmond Xavier is signed. So they took on the system here. I'm not going to play all their sound bites because there's 90 of them. I will play JDC's because he's on his way out the door.
These are spirit fingers, and these are gold.
I'm actually happy to retire that one. It's probably one of my top 2 or 3 least favorite sound bites. So, you guys, you know me, man. This fucking match, I know so many of you were like, match of the night, match of the week, match of the month, match of the year. Like, man, I get it. Was this a tornado tag team match? Because they just all wrestled inside the ring for the entire thing. And none of it had any psychology to it. It was all scripted from the very fucking beginning. Go back and watch the match. I'm sure some of you will because you really liked it. Everything was a dance routine. The entire fucking thing. I just cannot get into that. I can't. You just see them. They know what move is next. It's man, it's just not. It was entertaining. I'm not saying it was like a bad match. I'm not saying it was entertaining, but I'm just kind of like ready for it to be over. But at the same time, I love seeing all 4 Rascals together. We're probably not going to see it again on TNA television. I don't think Desmond Xavier is signed. Myron Reed is definitely not signed. I don't think Desmond Xavier is going to sign. I don't think the Rascals are going to re-sign. I think they're going to go to the company where they can do that dance routine shit and the crowd is into it. Because they've kind of done everything they can do in TNA. But I love seeing the 4 of them together. I thought it was one of the coolest pictures, the one circulating online with all 4 of them together. I like that kind of shit, man. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the show Titans. Like, there was the one episode, man, where like the majority of the Titans were together and Robin and Nightwing, you know, and that lasted, an episode or two until Robin was killed or whatever. But like, there was just that one episode where they were like both on the team with the other Titans. And I just thought that was like, you know, really cool. Or like the episode of Arrow, just the couple episodes where you had the Green Arrow, the Red Arrow, the Black Canary, and the White Canary all on the same team until the White Canary was killed and the Red Arrow disappeared. Like, I like that like super team type of shit. You know. So I thought it was really cool to see these guys together like this. Um, and again, we're probably not going to see it again. Shrimp, that oddly enough, they pinned JDC in this thing, but Desmond Xavier pins JDC, and they're crying after the match, like the time that they left TNA and then showed up. Trey Miguel showed up like 2 months later, but I know that Hannafin was like, "Oh, it's so emotional because they're all wrestling together, dude." He's crying because they're leaving. I think it's the same shit. So I don't think we're gonna see the Rascals at all going forward. I think this was more about, hey, let's get a really, really cool moment. But to their credit, they did put on a very entertaining and exciting match. It's just like for me, I'm just watching it and I would say the first like 30, 45 seconds, I think Desmond Xavier and JDC might have started it off. Like maybe there's like a little bit of grappling, then it completely goes off the rails. Again, choreographed from that point to the very end. And that is just a hard watch for me. It's a hard watch. As much as it can be entertaining for the majority of you, I just look for something different out of my wrestling than a lot of you do. But um, but I'm glad everyone was entertained by it. After this, Eric Young is backstage with Santino.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
And I didn't play the Eric Young sound because I'm working on a new one because the Juice Cleanse is coming. The king of the Juice Cleanse, going to cleanse TNA. He is blaming for Santino for, I think, for the NXT takeover stuff. I really didn't listen, really didn't care. Next match, this was, I said, top two matches. M by Elegance versus Kalani Jordan. And then no thanks to Kalani Jordan. I have to make that very, very clear. And then this right here for the X Division Championship.
The limit does not exist.
We had Leon Slater, the champion.
Hey here, I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
Versus Rich Swann.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
Man, Swann looks excellent. Man, he looks excellent. When he came back from injury years ago and he won the world title, I had said at the time, come back in the best shape of your career. And he did come back. You guys probably don't really remember that, but he came back in good shape, He got to the company eating a little too much bread. He's on the Eddie Edwards diet. And he was in really good shape when he took on Eric Young. Not the shape that he's in right now, though. But he was in better shape. And this is kind of the look I felt he needed to have when he was a world champion. Because a lot of people were saying he's too small to be a world champion. They wanted Moose to be the world champion, and his character had not really progressed. I talk about that with Joe Hendry. I talk about it with a lot of babyface champions. Like once you get that belt, now you got to progress things a little bit because the fans will turn on you very, very quickly as a babyface champion. But he looks excellent. They're talking about, on commentary, basically about him fighting his demons and all that stuff and what he's going through. And it's hard to buy him as a heel. Again, him and AJ Francis came out separate. AJ kind of he didn't turn on him, but he eliminated in the Call Your Shot gauntlet. After this match, they hugged. Leon Slater obviously won this thing. No one questioned that. But to me, this was the top match of the night by far. And I talk about not loving the flips and all that, but like Rich Swann, there's this like high degree of selling that goes into it and a high degree of storytelling that goes into it when Rich Swann wrestles. It is not Zachary Wentz just going there throwing punches and kicks that he has no intention of actually landing, just so that the person can duck and then he can roll backwards and do a flying knee and do this. You know what I'm saying? Like that is not what Rich Swann does. That is not what Leon Slater does. So these two put on a really, really excellent match. This was a banger. This is, everything Leon Slater does one-on-one is incredible. But this was the one right here, and I don't know what direction they're going to go with Rich Swann, because I mean he was part of the first class segment where AJ Big Boom AJ put BDE through the table, but it just seems like there's a little bit of a disconnect. So I don't know if they're going to try to go the babyface route with Swann again. I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea to do right now. I think people would love to see them as the champions, but I don't think they're going to go that direction, because I think they like the Ali Agent Zero thing. And they're obviously, the Hardys are most likely going to feud with the Great Hands for a little bit. And people have been asking for these guys to win the belts, whether it was him and Casey, AJ and Casey, or AJ and Swann. But what are they going to do if they're not? We just keep getting them out of the title scene. There's no team for them to feud with, unless BDE gets a partner. So I don't know. It's actually kind of interesting to see what the hell we're going to do here with Rich Swann and Big Boom going forward. So Leon Slater wins, still the X Division champion. And then I don't know if he's already had the Gold Rush match with what's that dude's name? Javon Evans, where he's taking on Mark State. I don't know if that's happened or if it's happened next week. I know it's like a 2-week thing. So that was another thing. They thought Leon and Javon Evans might be wrestling the Hardys. Some people thought Leon and Javon Evans were going to go on to have a best of 5 series, best of 6, 7, but that's, thank God they're not going that direction. I hate when they have two people just wrestle nonstop. And then we had the main event. Oh my gosh, I don't have the Hannafin soundbite loaded. Let's see what this one is. Oh, and I kick out. There it is. There it is. So we had King of the Block Party, TNA Jobber World Champion, Frankie Kazarian.
It's a block party. I'm not playing with y'all, bro.
And his tag team partner, Nick Nemeth.
I've been talking to people walking here. We've been talking about next year, and I'm sitting there saying, I'm not going to be here.
And they're supposed to be taking on the team of Steve Macklin, international champion.
I do the ass kicking around here. Wait your turn, jarhead. Ah!
And it's supposed to be Mike Santana.
That's nasty.
This starts off as a handicap match. Basically, you should have known Mike Santana was showing up, because Hannafin the whole night was like, we have not talked to Mike Santana. So for anyone who thought this was real online, like these dumbass dirt sheets that got fed the information that, they can't get a hold of Mike Santana. If they really could not, they would have not said it on commentary 50 million times. Like, remember when Alberto El Patron disappeared? They weren't like, they weren't building up to the main event. Like, what's he going to do? Like, the motherfucker was really gone. This was at the like TNA versus the Impact versus Lucha Underground shit show. Like, that motherfucker was really gone. Obviously, Santana was not gone. And he shows up halfway through this thing in jeans, because why would he be just to compete? And then he ends up pinning the Jobber World Champion Frankie Kazarian. So his first opportunity to wrestle, holding the belt, he loses. He is pinned. He's clearly not going to be a serious champion. He probably won't even have a long title reign. So I shut it off after this. Okay, because I already knew Robert Stone and all that was coming, and I have no interest in that, obviously. And I guess Nemeth tried to cash in on him, and man, I get you're going to tease that from time to time. I thought they were. I was ready for them to tell me a story with this Call Your Shot Gauntlet, the 2 winners thing. I was open to it, and we just didn't get that. We're getting a version of it because Nick still has it. And he's probably going to keep teasing, cashing in on Frankie. I don't fucking know. I just know this Frankie Kazarian title run is most likely going to be awful. And I think there's just no reason you couldn't have Mike Santana pin Nemeth here. But Nemeth probably makes more money, so he's not going to take the pin. So the problem was they really want to do the angle afterwards, where Nick Nemeth tries to cash in. Like, just don't do the angle. And then don't beat your world champion, So I believe tonight's episode, Mike Santana kicks it off with his intentions So we'll see how that goes. That is going to do it for me and my review of TNA Turning Point 2025. I am your boy. I guess we're going to get an episode tonight. Sounds like next week, and I'll review it, obviously. And then I think the next week we're probably getting some turkey soup bullshit. So I probably will not watch it, will not review it. Plus, I'll be in California for the holiday anyway. So probably going to take a break. I'm all for taking breaks. When TNA took this little break here, I was like, all good. My cat is trying to get inside the cat food bag next to me. So I hope you don't hear all that crackling and all that. Crook, stop it. Fat ass. Oh, that's baby. Get out of there. So I have 4 oranges. They kind of look the same. So I get confused who's who sometimes. So anyway, that is going to do it for me and this review. I'm your boy BQ, and I'm out. Peace.